everyone, Cassandra Brooks here, and I'm wearing a veil. If you don't already know, you might think it's weird that I'm wearing a veil, but I am engaged and I'm in the process of planning my wedding. So that is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. So if you guys want a little backstory on how me and my fiance met and how we were dating, all that kind of fun stuff, I actually filmed a video on my personal channel and I just did a boyfriend tags where I asked him like 20 different questions about me and he has to answer them off at the top of his head. It's kind of funny, but anyways, you can get to know him a little bit there. And then I do kind of just want to share with you how we got engaged because I haven't filmed a video on that. So here we go. It was actually after Valentine's Day. It was the weekend after Valentine's Day. It's a Saturday morning and it's raining. So we ordered breakfast from a little diner down the street and he went and picked it up, which is weird because I normally go and pick up the food. So he comes in and he brings the food and he screams, "The food's here, babe." So I literally run into the kitchen like a mad woman. I rip open the plastic bag and I rip open the first. There was like a little to-go box that I assumed was my bacon. I was hoping it was my bacon. I could smell bacon and I was just like, get in my belly. So I rip it open and there's a ring box in there. I'm kind of like, what? Oh, this is weird. Like, did they give me the wrong order? And so then I opened the ring box and I'm like, I was like floored. Literally, the room was spinning around me and like I was about to faint. And I like turn around and he's down on one knee asking me if I will marry him. But I didn't even hear that because like my thoughts were so loud in my head. It was like taking over. And like I kind of see him on his knee, but I don't really register that he's asking me to marry him. And finally, like, he's just down there forever. It's like, babe, my knee's starting to hurt me. And I was like, oh, yes. Yes, of course I'll marry you. And then, we kissed and whatever and told our family. So that was how we got engaged. It was crazy. And ow, I just slapped myself in the face. There's a common misconception that I just want to break right now. A lot of people, well, this is different for guys and girls. So girls, when the guy proposes to you, you're so excited, you're on cloud nine that you think like, oh my gosh, I want to start planning the wedding now. I need to go get my dress. I need to get a venue. I need to do all this. And so you're just going crazy wanting to plan everything. But if you're a guy, I've just had quite a few guy friends get engaged recently and they all say oh, I want to have a long engagement. I want to wait. I don't want to start planning right away. And so it's totally completely different mind frame whether you're a guy or a girl and getting engaged. So the guy just wants to be engaged for a while and relax and not rush into things. And the girl's so excited, she's been dreaming about this day since she was a little girl. So she wants to go and get everything planned. So you guys really need to find a happy medium. That way, he doesn't get freaked out about being engaged and rushing into it. And you don't want the girl to lose her momentum. You don't want that excitement to wear off because then, that's when the stress and everything starts setting in. So you and your fiance really need to kind of meet in the middle about when you want to start even talking budget or start talking about, what the date is. The day after or the day we got engaged, my fiance's family and my family, they're asking, when's the date? And you're so overwhelmed, you just got engaged. How do you really know what the date is, So don't be stressed by other people trying to, figure out what's going on. You don't have to know what's going on yet. You just got engaged. So take a minute to relax and just enjoy being engaged. You do not have to plan the wedding yet. So we got engaged in February and then I knew that I really wanted to have an engagement party. Now an engagement party isn't necessary. You can either have one or not have one. Your family can throw it for you. Really, it's all up to you. So our families kind of live all over the place in Southern California and some out of state. So I really wanted to have an engagement party because I just wanted to share the experience with everyone and I wanted some of my family that hadn't met him yet to be able to meet him and vice versa. So we actually planned an engagement party which was in April. So we got engaged the end of February and the middle of April is when we had our engagement party. And I actually have a video on my personal channel, shameless plug again, and it is just my engagement party tips. So I did the engagement party, mainly a lot of it was do it yourself. I had a lot of help from my family and his family and my friend let me use her house. So it was a lot of fun, but it was really, really stressful. So if you do want to figure out a way to throw an inexpensive engagement party, but it's still elegant, you can watch some of my tips for the do-it-yourself. It will really help you save money and then hopefully you can learn from the things that stress me out and don't let them stress you out. You don't need an nervous breakdown during the party. It takes away from the fun. So right after I got engaged, I started buying all those bridal magazines and doing research online to try and see like color schemes and all that stuff. And it's so overwhelming because you think when you're a little girl that you know what your dream day will look like. And then once you get engaged, you're like, I really have no idea what my wedding is supposed to look like. So I started doing a lot of research. And then I realized that my fiance was not ready to start planning this wedding yet. He needed time to cool down and to just be engaged, like I said before. So we discussed, you know, the date and all that, and we actually met on August 15th. So I wanted to try and have our wedding date be the closest to that date because we have a lot of birthdays and holidays like in the family that we already celebrate so much. I didn't want to have like, you know, our dating anniversary and then our wedding anniversary and then like you end up forgetting one or whatever. So not that I would forget it, he would forget it, he'd be in trouble. So I just wanted to kind of combine them into one, and that's when we actually set the date. In my mind, I wanted August 15th, but that was like a Wednesday or something. So August 18th was the closest day to that. So I told him I want to try to have the wedding then, and he said, okay, let's not plan it yet. Girls, you need like at least a year to plan your wedding. That's what every wedding book I've been seeing. You need a year to a year and a half. And you know, we have a lot of help with friends that said that, you know, they would give us advice and stuff. So I thought a year would be the perfect amount of time to plan a wedding. So since we got engaged in February, there was 6 months until that year marker to plan the wedding. So he actually had 6 months to cool down and not have to be bombarded with all my wedding questions. So I kind of gave him a deadline. All right, by the end of August, I want to be able to set a budget so that we could start planning. And so he said, you know, okay, give me 6 months to cool down. By August, that will give you a year to plan the wedding since you want to have it in August. We'll talk about the budget then. So that really took the stress off of us of having to, like, you know, battle it out. Like, when are we going to start planning? We just set the date. And then at the end of August, he came to me and we agreed on a budget, which is very important, ladies. The budget, I have a lot of girlfriends that they set a budget, but the budget really wasn't what they were going by. They set this budget and then they just kept going over it and over and over it. You really need to set a realistic budget. Look at your guys' income combined and what can you guys really afford to set aside. Are your parents helping you? That's great. If they're not helping you, you really need to know what is affordable for you. A lot of people, they like finance these huge, crazy Kim Kardashian weddings and then they're in debt for so long. Like, do you really want to be in debt just to have a nice wedding? Or do you want to be able to, you know, have a nice wedding but to still not be crazy in debt and one day, hopefully soon, buy a house, you know? So you really need to balance out what's important to you and find that budget that fits with both you guys. Please don't fight about the budget. That is something that kind of like tears couples apart when they're planning a wedding, is money. Money is one of the like biggest reasons for divorce, so don't let it be like the biggest reason to fight about before you're even married. So find that common ground, something you guys both agree on, and then just go from there. Remember, this day is about celebrating your love. So really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much the wedding costs. It just matters that you guys are together, you're celebrating in front of your friends and family, the people that matter to you, and you know, it's something that's memorable. So really, we were kind of bickering a little bit about the budget, which is normal. It really is normal to like bicker when you're planning a wedding. This is very stressful. But then we finally realized, like, this is stupid. Why are we fighting over this, you know? And I even told him, like, I would elope with you. I don't even care. Like, yeah, I want this big elaborate wedding, but at the end of the day, I just want to marry you. Like, I just want to be with you forever, and I want to marry you. That's it. And that's what you really need to figure out. What's important to you? Do you just want to marry this person, or do you like just want to show off in front of your friends? I swear I could talk forever about this wedding stuff. Anyways, we set the budget at the end of August, and then pretty much I spent all of September shopping online, finding different venues, just sending emails to different venues, asking for quotes, and it is really overwhelming. There's so many different venues out there, and they all offer different things. They all have different rules about, can you bring in your own alcohol? Do you have to have a licensed bartender? Do you have to use their own caterer? So really figure out what's important to you. Do you want to have an open bar? That's going to be really expensive. expensive? Do you want to have it outside? Do you want to have it near beach? If you guys want to try and save money, I highly recommend checking out like community centers or even like state or county owned properties like beaches and parks, because a lot of those times those places, they're only going to charge you for like a city permit or state permit, whatever it is, and so you save a lot of money with that. A lot of times they do have restrictions though, like no smoking or no alcohol, but if you're saving a lot of money, it was like October 9th is when we found the place. My fiance and I went to this local venue, was having like an open house night. So pretty much they set up, you know, the entire grounds like there was a wedding going on, the ceremony, the reception, everything. And it was gorgeous and we both liked it. So we actually that night they had like a discount. If you signed that night, then you saved like $5 per person, which in the grand scheme of things ends up being, you know, quite a bit. So we ended up booking it. It's called Eden Gardens and it's beautiful. So pretty much the weekend after we set the venue was the weekend that I asked my girls to be in the wedding. I just kind of went out to brunch and I made little gift bags for them with their name. And on the back I wrote, "Will you be my bridesmaid?" Like check yes or no. And I had like a Sharpie hanging from the bag. It was really cute. So I asked them after we set the venue just because it seemed more real to me. Like, all right, everything's going, everything's in motion. And I felt comfortable asking them then. My fiance asked his guys to be in the wedding at the engagement party. It's really up to you. Whenever you feel comfortable asking is when you should do it. There's no right or wrong with that. After I asked my girls to be in the wedding, they all said yes, thank you. It was time to go dress shopping. I actually went dress shopping like right after I got engaged. And then I realized, wow, I have like a year and a half until my wedding. What if I change my mind on the type of dress I want? And it was like the first bridal store I went to. I liked the dress, but there was something off about it. So I didn't get the dress then, and I'm so glad. After I asked the girls, we all, you know, were excited to go dress shopping. So me and my mom and a couple of my bridesmaids went shopping one day. It was like a whole entire day. Let me tell you, even if you love shopping, shopping for a bridal dress can be so stressful. I mean, we're driving around all of Orange County, going to like every single bridal store, and be careful, a lot of bridal stores are closed on Sundays. So make sure you do your homework and make an appointment. If it's a really popular bridal store, chances are they won't be able to get you in for a fitting if you just do a walk-in. So make sure you call and make appointments, because I had problems in the beginning trying to, you know, try on dresses without an appointment. It doesn't work with bridal dresses. So that was one weekend. And then we had to go another weekend because I really didn't find anything. The only dresses I liked were like $5,000, which I'm sorry, I could not justify spending $5,000 on a dress. That was not in the budget. Like, my mom said she would help me out with the dress, but I knew she couldn't afford $5,000 either, so that is just crazy. So then we went shopping again, actually this past weekend, and I found my dress! Ah! I'm like crazy bridezilla right now. But we went shopping actually in like the Valley in LA, and there's a bunch of bridal stores on Ventura Boulevard if you're in the area. And so we just kept popping into different ones. I didn't have appointments, but we walked into this one. It's actually called Encino Bridal and Tuxedo. They do tailoring as well. So we walked in there and they didn't have a huge dress selection, but they had the dress. So I tried it on. It's actually a Casablanca Dress was the brand. And I don't really have a picture of it because I'm doing a lot of custom altering to it, that like even if I showed you a picture of the dress, it's not what it's gonna look like. So I really just wanna wait to show you the dress, but I will describe it to you. Pretty much it was like a tube top dress, mermaid style, but I'm altering it so that it's sweetheart neckline. And I'm also adding like rhinestones to the dress. And the bottom of the dress where it starts to poof out like a mermaid, I'm going to have them put in a hidden zipper. That way, like during or after our first dance, I can like zip off the bottom part of my dress and I have a tight, short reception dress. So it's two dresses in one. Everyone was telling me when I was going to bridal stores, like, you don't need like to have that put in. Like, why don't you just buy a second dress? Well, no, I don't want a second dress. In my mind, since I was a little girl, I always had one dress for my wedding. Well, now it's popular to have two dresses, but I don't want two dresses. I want a magic dress. I want it to turn into a second dress. So the Encino Bridal and Tailoring, they are gonna make that happen. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't breathe. It's perfect. So it's pretty much all the updates up to date right now. There will be tons more as I start planning everything else. I'm still kind of on the fence of my color scheme. I'm pretty sure that I want it to be like light pink, dark pink, and bling. So like silver, sequins, rhinestones, like stuff like this. I just want it to be really glamorous but still romantic. That's why I thought like the light pink and the dark pink. I really wanted to have fuchsia in my wedding, but a lot of the like inspiration boards that I was looking at for fuchsia just really didn't look like me. It wasn't romantic. Fuchsia is more like bright and crazy in your face, and like the light pink mixed with like a dark pink it just has more of that like romantic kind of Victorian feel a little bit, I guess. So that's what I'm going for. A great place to find inspiration is actually thenot.com. They have a lot of bridal magazines that you can get, but they also have a website which is loaded in like real wedding pictures. So it's actually, you know, real people who got married, and they send in, I don't know how they send in, but they send in their pictures of their wedding. So you can see, you know, not just these celebrity weddings, which, come on, it's so hard to achieve something like that, but you can see something that's actually attainable, and you can take inspiration from what real people have done and like incorporate it into your wedding. So the only thing I have like coming up soon is I actually talked my fiance into doing a photo shoot, because a lot of times people do engagement pictures and we haven't done those yet. So we're going to do some engagement pictures. That way we can send out save the dates. And save the dates is something that you send out like way ahead of time, because we've already picked our date, August 18th, 2012. So we're going to take pictures and we're going to send those out to people. That way, you know, we don't need to send the invitations out yet. Things may change. Hopefully they don't. But you just save the dates out. That way people can, you know, mark their calendars for next year and make sure that they don't plan like a vacation or something crazy, because you do want them to be able to make it to your wedding. So I'm going to be ending the video here. That's pretty much everything I've been dealing with since I got engaged. It is a lot of fun. If you're feeling a little stressed, just take a deep breath, because this can be, you know, fun. Doesn't have to be stressful. And I'm just rambling. I could talk for days about this topic, but before you get bored, I'm going to send you guys away. If you are interested in seeing more updates, maybe I can make another video for you. Just let me know. And that's about it. I gotta go plan some more wedding stuff. Bye, girls. Mwah!